Okay, so Cheryl Ralph was on Roland Martin this morning with Vice President. And she's told this story about how her she lost a baby, or I believe it was something like that. But I'm gonna get to it. Okay, now hopefully I can find it.
I'm able to realize. So I think she's a titan, and I think she is in the.
Let's see if I can find it. It was a part when, okay, maybe it was it before this? Nope, it was after this foolishness. Here it is right here.
Salus University in Montgomery County. Ralph tells a story of how she almost lost her son 30 years ago.
2 children, son and a daughter, Etienne and Ivy. And when my son was born, it almost didn't happen. I had lost my amniotic fluid. And most of us know in here, that's the fluid that surrounds the baby in the womb. I had lost it all. And I was about ready to have what they called a dry birth, which is complicated. My God, I hadn't thought about this, which is complicated. And
first of all,
at the same time,
they would have given her an emergency C-section, so she would not have had a dry birth. But let me finish.
And this doctor says to me, you have one chance right now for a viable delivery. I'm listening to this as I'm trying to deliver my child. Suppose my child was not viable, and in that moment, you're going to, now, you know what it looks like. In that moment, if that doctor were to deliver and excavate the child from my womb, they would have gone to prison. These are the kind of things we have got to think about. That happened to me.
Okay, so it did not happen to her. And it would not have happened to her because this was back during a time when Roe v. Wade, W-A-D-E, was still the law of the land. She would have just had an emergency C-section, and I'm glad her son is okay, and her daughter that she had. She's stressing the point that if you don't vote for Biden, along with Vice President Kamala Harris, they're stressing the point that it has to be Biden, because if you don't vote for Biden, what's going to happen? If you vote for Biden, what's going to happen? Women, men. If you vote for Biden and he gets back in, what is he going to do to the Supreme Court? Not a damn thing, because he should have done it he should have done it when he first got into office, or in year 2. That Supreme Court, anyone who violates the United States Supreme Court or the law of the land can be removed. They don't have immunity. So when I'm president, they're all gone. They did 2 things. There was a lady in Colorado. Excuse me. I don't want to keep coughing and stuff. And so at any rate, there was a Republican who filed to have Donald Trump removed from the ballot. They said, no, you can't do it. We're not going to uphold the highest Supreme Court in the state of Colorado decision to remove him for whatever reason, then they just supported a person who was found guilty of crimes against the United States. That's what they did. Left, right, polarized stuff. This is how we lost Roe v. Wade. The Republicans vote with the Republicans. The Democrats vote with the Democrats. Everything is a left-right issue to them. They don't care about law of the land issue. So they're all going because they all violated the agreement that we had with the state of Colorado and every other state, that this is one union, and that the United States Supreme Court federal government would not interfere in any decision that was made by the highest state court in any state. And I'm not saying this because it's Donald Trump. That's one of the reasons why I would pardon Donald Trump. Somebody asked me that the other day too. And I'm sure YouTube doesn't like that. I don't want to hear about Donald Trump anymore, especially if I'm president. We're not going to have the news rolling around and, oh, look what they did to Donald Trump. Oh, he's in prison. Not during my presidency. You know what? If Jack Smith did not prosecute you for insurrection, why would I? I don't want to hear about Biden. I don't want to hear about Trump. And that corrupt United States Supreme Court is being replaced with an interim Supreme Court. Sherryl, Ralph, she's an actress. Stick to acting. Because your son is here and he's grown. And what you're talking about, when that happened to you, there was still Roe v. Wade. So none of that would have happened. You're trying to polarize things to let women know, oh, if this were to happen to you. You're not reaching the right people, baby. You're not. What is Trump going to do? Trump bragging that he pushed the things back to the state. What is Biden going to do? He finally has sent out you and the vice president to give speeches. You're recognizable enough that people know you from your career. But this is not the first time that the vice president came out to talk to people and stress the importance of it. It just didn't take, because people didn't find her sincere when she said it. Now she's sitting next to you and go, But I don't blame you. I don't blame the vice president. I don't blame Trump. And I don't blame Biden. I don't even blame the capitalist. It is you, the American people, who continue to put people in office like that. Even if it weren't Trump or Biden, it would be a Vice President Kamala Harris. She's part of the capitalist. Gavin Newsom, he's part of the capitalist. You keep putting the same people back in, and you wonder why your businesses are being closed down. The whole purpose of the tax system in America was to help the businesses and that we purchase from one another. The only people that's getting help are the people that don't belong in this country. They're the only ones getting helped. Why? Not because it's cheaper. It is just cheaper for the capitalists to spend less money and sell more products. And if you're an American and you currently have a business open, I don't care what race you are, Hawaiian, Asian Pacific, I don't care. White, black, Hispanic, I don't care what race you are. Your business and your business opportunities are going to shrink and shrink and shrink and shrink the more migrants come to this country. You got to get rid of the United States Supreme Court, and they have to be replaced with an interim Supreme Court. I get to choose who the interim Supreme Court is. We don't have to go through Congress. The $1,776, I get to give that out of my budget. I don't have to go through Congress for that, because under a state of emergency, even if I had to go through Congress for that, but I don't. Who in Congress is going to say, don't help the American people? But I don't have to worry about that. Pardon power, I don't have to go through Congress. I get to pick 27. I get to seat 27 people. Now, some of you are saying, oh, well, you know, your administrative staff, those people have to go through Congress. I don't care if Congress accepts who I'm putting in or not. In the meantime, there will be an interim. Because if you think you're going to hold up my administration for 6 or 7 months of my 4 years, you can think again. No, you won't. And everybody who works in my administration is getting a pardon on day one. Everybody. See, I'm not the person that the capitalists want. Their business won't suffer. You just have to share the wealth. We'll still be making money. As a matter of fact, we'll be making more money. We'll be creating more jobs under my administration. But it'll be for Americans. And the people who got in line for immigration, if your application is already in and you on your last year or 2 years, your application will be processed. But anybody new, we're going to have to hold off, at least during my administration. And I'm not running twice. I'm only running once. I'm not going to be 60, 70, and 80 and trying to run the presidency of the United States. I already have physical limitations right now. I don't have mental limitations or health limitations. But working a regular job is not something that I can do unless you want to let me be president of that company and dictate people what to do. Then yeah, fine, I'll do that. But that's not available to me. That's not realistic. That's not how the world works nowadays. Unless I start my own company. And that's what I want everybody to do. And that's why you'll be paid weekly. Except for if they're the 5th week. 6 months out of the year, there's 5 weeks. There's an extra week in every month. There'll be no payment on that. That's that 5th week. But you have to have the courage as Americans to do something different. You have to have the courage as Americans to vote for someone like me. I'm not out for revenge. I know there are racial tensions between people. We keep having racial tensions between one another all we want to based on our skin. And I'm talking about all Americans that are Americans now. Let's keep doing what we're doing, and we're not going to have to worry about it. I know y'all feel that y'all safe. I got a store. People always going to want to shop at my store. Have you seen the number of stores that are going up that are just like your store? When your product doesn't move and you don't have to order as much product, what does that mean for your business? Why is that happening? There has to be a balance in America. We can't have everybody come from all over the world and start their business here. Because then the businesses that are already here suffers. If you don't understand that, then you're lying to yourself, or you're not an adult and you're unable to understand what I'm saying. The things that come out of my mouth are not about racism. They're realism. So I'll be reaching out to people to see if they want to join my administration. And then screening them to see who's full of shit. who's placating me and who really means it. Don't worry about me cursing. As I said, if I get hired, you will never hear me curse in public. But I'm going to curse every day of my life. And that shouldn't be an interest of yours. But you can't have a president that's trying to get revenge against people, or that's, cruel-hearted, or that doesn't have enough sense to listen to her advisors, right? You got Trump, didn't listen to none of his advisors. Now he got 4, 5, 6, 7 trials. You got Biden, all he does is listen to his advisors, because he's not coming up with these plans. These people are bought and paid for by the capitalists. The capitalists own the industries, the banking, the car, the insurance. All that's going down. All of it's going down under my administration, and we're making it permanent. Now, if you companies don't want to do business here, then go do your business elsewhere. And in America, this government will back its own insurance company with its own actuarials to give insurance to us, to cover us. So my administration will never do anything to harm big business. But big business is squeezing us out. All right, I got to go. I just wanted to share that. Voting for Biden is not going to change this, because Biden's not going to do anything to get rid of the United States Supreme Court. And they are not above the law. They have absolute immunity, long arm immunity, limited immunity, and I forget the other type of immunity, except for when they violate the law of the land. And they have, not once, but twice. And you got 2 rapists on there. And there's no statute of limitation. So those 2 are gone as soon as I'm president. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. But again, it's not because Democrat, Republican. It's like, Americans, wake up. What are we going to do? Stop listening to people that are rich because we made them rich. She rich because we watched her. She rich because we bought her tickets. We went to see the movies. We went to see the plays. Same thing with Ice Cube, Eddie Murphy, Eddie Griffin, Denzel Washington. Thank you for your opinion. But we made you what you are with our tax dollars that we worked for. You could say you got them from, your own hard work. But if we as American paying public don't pay for you to see you with our dollars that we worked for, y'all don't have those riches. So you can pick and choose who you want, you elite people. See, they become elite once they get all their money. And they're not living a paycheck to paycheck like the rest of the world. The nose goes up. And then they bring them on and let them tell you to go vote for the same person. Why? Why is she telling you to vote for Biden? Surely Ralph knows that Joe Biden ain't going to do nothing about abortion. She full of shit. She full of shit. Yeah, her husband is in Congress somewhere in D.C. or something. So maybe this helps her husband. I don't know. But there's no way that you're going to make me believe that Sherryl Lee Ralph, whose son is 25? We've never heard this story before from her. Why now? Why are we hearing it now on this platform, such a large platform? Because see, now she want to help. This is so contrived. We need businesses here, but we don't need businesses to keep doing what they're doing to us. And then there was another story they had about the Palestinians. Just to address that real fast. They do have a right. The American Palestinians, they have every right to protest in America. They have every right to do so. But what you do not have a right to do is to disrupt businesses, make people late for work, make them miss their goddamn train. You going to compensate those people? where you block the street and those people miss their train to get to their job? How about the people who paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to this Ivy League college, and then you got to stand out there in the yard and disrupt their day? Have police out there shutting down the school, disrupting their classes and their assignments? Bullshit. Now, every college has always had people protest at the college. But they did it at a certain time. They did it on a certain day. The police were not called. You just had the regular security from the college. Protesting at colleges and in the street is not new. But you can't try to shut down our economy, Palestinians and any goddamn buddy else who's supporting them. Don't shut down our economy and disrupt our lives because Netanyahu, who a lot of y'all voted for when y'all lived over there, Netanyahu is killing your relatives. If you want to do something, go over to where Congress that just passed that $95 million. But I can't even hold the thing up. Where's the thing he gave? $95 million that Congress just gave. If you want to protest something, protest this. Come on. This is what y'all should be doing. You American Palestinians and anybody else that's supporting them. This is what y'all should have did. You see this? $95 billion for what? Foreign aid package. How much for the farmers? $8.5 billion. And a lot of them are losing their ranches. So what does this mean? We're going to still have to use, because you just paid money, because we get some of our vegetables from Ukraine. So you're sending this money to Ukraine and Japan and Israel. And home, look what they get for everybody. And our farms in America are shutting down because this number should be here and that number should be there. Y'all are backwards as hell. And you got these two bitches out here talking about go out and vote for Biden because of abortion rights? What is Biden going to do because of abortion rights? There's not one person running for president other than myself that's even going to touch those people at the United States Supreme Court. And it is within my jurisdiction to do when they break the law, because they do not have immunity for that. Yeah, I've been listening. I've been listening to attorneys, and I've been watching attorneys, not just this last year, since I've been in my 20s. And I know there's laws on the books that says a Supreme Court judge can be removed, but they have to do a certain thing. And all of them have done it. They don't get to make laws by case law. They don't, their case law cannot overturn Congress's law. Case law says, well, this is how you're going to implement the law that's on the books. Case law is never meant to undo and unravel a law that Congress has passed. And this is what they've been doing. And that's how you got rid of Roe v. Wade. Not because Donald Trump put this man on here. The man that he put on there is from Colorado. He already knows Gorsuch. He already knows that they couldn't make a vote on it. So they overturned it. You're not allowed to overturn law. You don't make law, and you're not allowed to overturn laws. And you don't have immunity from that. At least not in my administration. Now, after my administration, if somebody wants to go ahead and go through the whole process again and put you people right back in, then that's on the stupidity of the people that are voting for the congressmen and women who put y'all up there in the first place. See, if I get in there and I undo the damage that has been done, and you go out and you vote for Lindsey Graham, what's her name? A Chuck Schumer, a Cruz, what's his name? A Ted Cruz, a Nancy Pelosi, Bernie Sanders. Yeah, if you Americans go back out there and re-elect these people again, that's on you. See, this is why I said it doesn't bother me one way or the other. Y'all caused this. You voters caused this. And do you think someone other than an American like yourself is going to change it? I can't do everything as president of the United States. I do realize that. But I know that I can do the things to undo the damage of Roe v. Wade and put that back in as law of the land. I know I can do that. I know I can give out those checks, 1776 a week to Americans that qualify, because you do have to qualify. You do have to have a job unless you're already disabled. Because they cutting people off of disability. They're telling y'all, we don't give a fuck if you can walk or stand or do whatever. We don't care. You're off of SSI. You're off your SSD. You can't have it until you're 80. And y'all still out there clamoring over whether to vote for a Republican or a Democrat instead of Golda D. Harris as your next president. So I want you to vote for me. I don't need y'all to vote for me. If you feel you don't want the things that I'm offering in my administration, then vote for Biden and get the things that he's offered you in your administration. And if you want Trump and you love Trump and he did so much for you, put him back in there and see what else he can get the United States Supreme Court to do for you. But you're never going to get any change until you stop voting for the people that are rich and that are capitalists, because they're not looking at the. They don't care. I just didn't move. I gotta go. They don't care. So if you think they do, fine. But I'm telling you, they don't care. So one thing about me is I put it out there and decide how you're going to decide. I'm not running for a second term. So like I said, this is my one time doing it. People do it all the time. But you never know who we are. YouTube going to be shut down, so make as much money as you possibly can. It's going to be shut down the way it is now, the way it's letting people make money. It's not sustainable the way it is now. If you think that it is, okay, but I'm telling you, the way YouTube is making, you guys are making money on YouTube. What you do is you make your money now and you start yourself a side hustle, not something illegal. Get an apartment complex, buy a multi-family home that you can rent out. Excuse me. Get your capital saved up so you can start a business. Start your own business. Don't start it with somebody that you can't trust, that don't want to sign a contract, that doesn't want to get the proper insurance. If you want to do business with somebody and they say, we'll get that later, then do your business by yourself. And because you are the one that's going to be responsible at the end of the day, because you're going to need insurance no matter what business, or insurance writers. All right, now I really do have to go because video is almost a half hour. And I know you good people don't like to listen to anything over a half hour, but somebody is listening to me. Somebody is. I hope enough people are. Have a good day.